Hello everyone and welcome to the Carcode YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name's Sam. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button down below for more new car reviews and car content every single week. Today I am doing a review on this. This is the facelifted Honda HR-V. I'm really grateful to say this is my first press loan car. Honda have given me use of this HR-V advanced style for a week, so you'll get a full overview, living with it realistically, what miles per gallon I get, how I find it, etc., which is really exciting. So thanks again to Honda UK. With that, let's get on to the review. Okay then, looking at the exterior design of the updated HR-V. The exterior design has always been very important for small SUVs and has always been a key selling point for the HR-V, especially on the advanced style trims which give you this two-tone look, the roof rails as well. I'll start off by explaining the colours available on the HR-V. As standard now, you have a sage green pearl, which I've not seen yet in person. From the computer generated images, I'm not a massive fan, but I wasn't either with the sand khaki, but that really did start to grow on me and I really like that colour. Unfortunately, that's not on the facelift model, so it's sage green pearl as standard. Metallic colours start at 650, that gives you platinum white pearl, which is just a nice metallic white. Crystal black pearl looks nice on the vehicle. You can also get new urban grey pearl, which we've seen on the ENY1 and also on the Jazz Advanced Sport. That's a light grey, but it is metallic. It looks solid. I'm not a massive fan of that colour though. There's also two special premium colours. That is premium sunlight white, which is lovely. It's got hints of blue and yellow in it. It's very special. And also premium crystal red, which is just a metallic red colour. And last but not least, you've got this new seabed blue. £650 option, definitely my favourite. It replaces the midnight blue beam and it's a bit brighter. It's kind of a petrol-y blue. It's like a denim. And as you can see, I've decided to go completely matching with the car today with the silver on top and the blue on the bottom, because why not? I would also like to see an orange. I think a spicy metallic orange would look really nice on the HR-V. What do you think? Is there any other colours that you'd like to see? Put it in the comments down below. A key upgrade, which was a major complaint on the pre-facelift, is rear tinted windows. They weren't standard on any model, even the top of the range models, which were over £36,000 at the time. However, rear tinted windows, Honda have listened, they're standard across the range from Elegance all the way up to Advanced Style Plus, so that's excellent. You'll notice on this Advanced Style, you've got this blue section down here, which is really nice. It used to be orange, like a dark orangey red colour. All the accents now are this sort of turquoisey blue. At the very front of the HR-V, some minor tweaks have been made just to make it a little bit more modern, including the smoother bumper at the front. Normally we don't see that on a facelift, we normally see things become sharper, but I actually like this. I think it's a more friendly look, and we've had a more angular grille. So a smoother bumper, more angular grille, instead of a smoother grille and more angular bumper. So they just changed a few bits. You've got this strip along the top here on this Advanced Style model, matching the roof. I wasn't sure about this at first. I thought it looked quite wide because we did have the thin chrome one on the pre-facelift, but I have grown to really like this. I think it's very stylish. This is in black on the other colours, and online it looks narrower in black, but it's just an optical illusion. They are the same band across all cars, but on the silver it looks just a little bit different and nice. You get the silver roof on the seabed blue and also on the black car, but I like the blue better than the black. Also, you'll notice these little accents of colour here, which look very BMW, even more than ever. They did on the pre-facelift, but even more so now. However, they are some of the Honda colours. Advanced Style and Advanced Style Plus get this little accent. You can also get the grille in black. That is an optional extra, and it's standard on the Advanced Plus model. I'll go through all the trims available now. It's not really like Honda to complicate something, but they've actually added two more trims to the facelifted HR-V. That is the Advanced Plus and the Advanced Style Plus. So you can still see the Elegance, Advanced and Advanced Style in the range, but there's just two extra models. The Advanced Plus is essentially an Advance, but it adds some different alloy wheels, and also all the cladding is in body colour for the first time on the HR-V. Looks quite interesting in terms of extra equipment on the vehicle. That's about it really. You don't see any additional upgrades apart from your black grille, standard metallic paintwork in urban grey, premium sunlight white or the seabed blue, and some different wheels. That car starts at $36,995, which isn't cheap, especially when you consider the Advance starts at $33,995. So it's a £3,000 upgrade to get those little tweaks on the vehicle. This advanced style starts at £37,195, so there's not a massive amount extra than the Advanced Plus grade. And if you'd like the Advanced Style Plus, that includes a fixed sunroof, the same you get on the Honda E&Y1, but it removes the roof rails. That top of the range model starts at £37,995. This model today here is priced at £37,845 because of its paintwork option on it, and it is of course the Advanced Style. This is the best trim I'd say to go for. I'm now going to talk about how well spec'd a standard elegance car is. Some key standard features across the range include these 18-inch diamond cut alloy wheels, rear tinted windows, full LED headlights, and tail light bar. They have changed the design very slightly. In the inside they've darkened the elements, so makes it a bit more modern and a nice look. Keyless entry and start, heated front seats and a leather wrapped steering wheel. This used to be plastic on the Elegance model, but they're all leather wrapped now, which is great. Honda's very clever magic seat system, these semi-digital dials, wireless Apple CarPlay and much more. The Elegance model is very well equipped and it starts at £31,495. So that covers the trims, 5 specifications now instead of 3. Some new features, a few little tweaks here and there. Also your wheels, which I'll talk about now. Wheel options on the HR-V. There's the same options as before, but they're much more reasonably priced now. These are the standard wheels as before. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Honda have stood by that, and they look excellent. They're a diamond cut wheel, 18 inches, plenty enough sidewall, and they've softened the suspension ever so slightly. It was always quite good anyway, providing good handling and a good level of comfort as well. If you do want different alloy wheels, you can opt for them. There's 3 different alloy wheel options to choose from. They're all the same style, just with different cuts and colours on them. It starts off with the HR 1811s. They are a black look wheel and they're 18 inches as well. Look really nice and they come in at £355. It then goes up to the diamond cut HR 1812s and they are a £365 option across all models, apart from on the Advanced Plus, which are standard on that car. And at the top end you can get the HR 1814 wheels, which are a gunmetal grey, again in the same design, and they are £385. Optional wheels range between £355 and £385. It seems strange that they didn't just make them all the same price, but it's much better than £1,400 on the pre-facelift that they were charging for optional wheels. Honestly though, I still prefer the standard wheels and I'd go for them. Something I've always loved about the HR-V is the rear concealed door handles. It's a great little feature. It means it has that sporty 3-door like look, but also has that 5-door practicality. Also, the front doors, although they don't look long because of this big door mirrors here, but if you look at the length from here to here, they are quite large doors. Your blind spot is actually a little bit further back than other cars, which are kind of here and can get in your view very much. So this is excellent. Visibility on the HR-V, I can't fault it at all. Now then, let's take a look under the bonnet of the HR-V Hybrid. It's not on a hydraulic strut, which is a nice thing to have, but it is very lightweight, so that's not a huge problem. So powering all HR-Vs is this 1.5 naturally aspirated hybrid powertrain, producing 131 PS, which is 129 brake horsepower. This takes the HR-V from 0 to 62 in 10.7 seconds. So it's not the quickest on paper, but in reality, it's plenty nippy enough, especially if you're doing mixtures of town driving, A road and B road driving. It's perfect for that. If you're doing a lot of motorway driving though, you might want something with a little bit more zip in it, and it would have been really nice, I think, to see the 2-litre hybrid powertrain on the HR-V. Would make it a dream to drive, but this is really nice and it is something you have to get used to. As you get used to it and live with it and drive it how it likes to be driven, you start to really engage with it and like the drive. I am starting to really get on with it. It's a 4-cylinder unit as well, so that does give you that extra smoothness at the higher speeds. Even though it makes that roar thanks to the CVT making the engine flare the revs up, once you get to your desired speed and kind of stick at that speed, the engine does smooth out quite quietly and does become quite refined. You hear road noise, but you don't hear so much engine noise, which is really great. It also delivers 253 Newton meters of torque, which is very impressive. It's not the quickest sprint off the line, but it's overall quite a smooth power delivery thanks to the ECVT transmission, which I quite like because on some like dual clutch automatics, for example, you can feel it changing gears a lot of the time, all the time, and you think, I wouldn't have changed gear there, I don't like it, and it makes you want to be in control of the gears. Whereas this, because it doesn't have gears as such, it's a much smoother, enjoyable experience, even if it does hang on to the revs a little bit longer than on other vehicles. It's something you do get used to with time though. It's a 1.1 kilowatt hour battery, the hybrid powertrain, and that's placed in the rear of the vehicle. Yeah, so as I say, the power remains exactly the same, it's just a bit of soundproofing in the car. All models have got the same engine setup as well. This is the favourite type of road to go down with this car though. Round town and country roads, but not narrow country roads, A roads, things like that, it does really well. The 10.7 0 to 62 time sounds really slow, but honestly it's plenty fast enough for most people. I don't have huge issues with it. So it picks up speed soon enough. It just makes a bit of a sound when you do it, and that's normal for a CVT. It causes the engine to flare up. But once you're leveled out in speed, once you've got to the speed you want to be at, it's actually quite okay. Going about 40 miles per hour, it's perfectly happy. It goes into EV mode where it can. Over my 102 miles I've done in it so far, I've averaged 51.7 miles per gallon, which is very close to the claimed 52 Honda claim. They're very accurate, but if you were going around town a lot of the time, you could get up to 60 or high 50s quite easily. So if you're doing a lot of town driving, it could be the perfect car for you. You can tell a slight difference with the pre-facelift to the facelift with the sound insulation measures they've done, and that is welcomed. All the dials are so clear as well to see everything. You get all the info you need. Normally leave it on the range and fuel or the power one. It is quite wide, so single track lanes do feel, you know, a little tight, especially with these massive door mirrors, but for a road like this, which is big enough to pass a car, it's actually perfect. A good size, it's kind of a small to medium SUV, and when you put your foot down, if you want to go faster, it does pick up the pace if you need it to. It's not mega sluggish or anything like that. Instead of like cogs of gears, it's more like a cone, and it slides up and down wherever it needs to be for the engine and to the best power. Combines with the hybrid system the most seamlessly, especially when it's in EV mode. It's much harder to do that with a dual clutch transmission. Also, a dual clutch transmission, especially at slower speeds, can be quite jerky. This doesn't have that problem at slow speeds. It's absolutely fine. Deals with cattle grids fine. The 18-inch wheels are perfect. Honda haven't gone silly with massive wheels. It handles very well too. You don't have a lot of body roll. It stays quite nicely planted on the ground. It suits these UK roads absolutely perfectly. It's like it's made to do that. See, like over this long stretch of a couple of miles, I've literally been in EV mode the whole time. The hard thing with the self-charging hybrid is it doesn't have an official EV-only range, and some people can't wrap their head around that quite. I say self-charging hybrids are just to aid your fuel economy. That's what they're for. That's what the battery's for. That's what they're designed to do. It's not designed to have an EV range and have a petrol range. They work together. It's a hybrid rather than separate things. Being electric, sometimes being petrol, it works together in unison to give you the best miles per gallon possible. And this is an excellent example. Just driving along this in this conditions, stuck behind this motorhome, but it jollies along quite nicely, and regenerative braking is quite good. It doesn't take you to a full stop, but to be honest, the regenerative braking on this is excellent compared to other hybrids, and really nice that you have so much control over it. Unlike on the Ford Kuga self-charging hybrid, which doesn't give you a lot of control of your regen braking, this does. A lot of people don't use it at all, but I do, and I quite like the fact that you can control your regen on the HRV. You always could. These paddles are great, and they just make a lot of sense. And you do benefit from a little bit better miles per gallon in B mode or regenerative braking mode than you do in D mode. I'm just on my journey back now from Harrogate along the A65. I've not gone over 60 miles per hour, so hardly felt the engine really flare up, kick in much. And my trip of 303 miles, which is the whole time I've had the vehicle for, I've averaged 51.2 miles per gallon, and even more so impressive, I've averaged on this journey from Harrogate, and we're about halfway home to the lake, so just over an hour, about 40 miles, 58.8 miles per gallon, and it's felt so smooth and definitely quieter as well at these speeds than the pre-facelift. This is quite noticeable, especially when the engine's kicking in. The insulation just make that bit of difference that you're not hearing it as much. And the torquey engine is great here because you can feel if you do want to put your foot down, you can do that, and then you get up a bit faster, but generally perfect for cruising around these speeds, just under 60 miles per hour. The car really likes it. I enjoy it. It's less fatiguing. It felt a bit fatiguing on the motorway because the accelerator gets quite heavy, especially over 60 miles per hour. It obviously doesn't want you to use a load of fuel, so it doesn't want you to go fast. But this sort of road is fantastic for the HRV. It handles incredibly well too, and the suspension, as I say, on these 18-inch wheels isn't firm at all. So it's a thumbs up on this journey. So the journey is over. It was about 80 miles, 59.6 miles per gallon average, and it was really great. It was just perfect on them roads. So the interior on the HRV, well, bear in mind we're on a very high specification advanced style trim, and that gives us the part leather seats with this lighter ivory colour, which is stunning. It's not to everyone's taste, but I really like it. As I mentioned before, on advanced style, all the accents are now in blue rather than that orangey red colour. They've made the central console on the car flatter as well, which is in gloss black, which I'm not a massive fan of. However, lower down, it's not as bad as being high up and reflecting everything, so that's good. This section has changed here. You've got a larger cubby hole here now, which is quite welcomed. It makes a lot better use of the space and looks very practical. You've got a USB-C port and you've got a USB normal port there as well. Wireless phone charging is on this model as well, which is a great thing to have. That is on the Advanced Style and Advanced Style Plus again. These seats are quite comfortable. If a little short on the bases, they would be a bit better, a little longer, but not too bad. All cars have got these centre armrests like this. The seats and fabric does differ a little bit depending on trims. As standard on the Elegance trim, you get a full black and grey cloth seat. Looks quite tasteful, if a little dull. Going up to Advanced and Advanced Plus, you get the black cloth and the black leather at the side, so part leather, part cloth on the seats. Going up to Advanced Style and Advanced Style Plus, you get these seats. So you've got the cloth in the centre with blue accents and stitching, and then this lighter colour on the outsides. These do stay quite good over many years. As long as you keep them clean, it's quite easy, it's all wipeable and really nice, good quality materials. Inserts in these are a little different to what we saw on the pre-facelift. On the pre-facelift Advanced Style, the middle bit was sort of a chevron pattern, and it was very 80s, very retro. I did quite like it, but it's not to everyone's taste. This certainly looks a lot more modern than it did before. One key feature which is new to the HRV is the multi-view camera. So that is your 360-degree cameras with my favourite feature, which is the both sides feature. So you can see each side of the car if you're going for a width restriction, for example, or want to make sure you have got into a space. These massive wing mirrors do also help, which are unchanged from before. But multi-view camera monitor's excellent. When you pop it into reverse, it pops up automatically, giving you the 360-degree view and your rear view camera, as you can see there. This rear view camera is standard across the range. However, the multi-view cameras is only on Advanced Style and Advanced Style Plus. It's not something you can opt for either. The heated front seats though are standard. The center infotainment screen is still the Honda Connect 9-inch screen. It's not too big, it's not too imposing. However, I do have one gripe with it. It is facing away from the driver, which is a little annoying. It's not as pronounced as some other vehicles, which can be very tilted away and very distracting, like on some Skoda models. So it's not the worst I've seen, but it isn't the best. I prefer a more driver-focused feel that you get on some other models. Got wireless Apple CarPlay, wired Android Auto as before. It stays pretty much the same. Honda's system is one of the best to use. All of these widgets stay down here all the time. Oh, shh. So you can always easily access them, which is excellent. I love this dash on the Advanced Style model as well, with the kind of turquoisey teal accents look great. On the other models, this is just simply chrome and it's a little bit more boring inside. But Honda's been really experimental with the inside of this car, which I really like. It feels very premium, but of course you do pay that premium price for it, but people are willing to pay it, and it does feel quite a bespoke, unique vehicle. So if you're wanting something a little bit different, the HR-V is definitely one to consider if you don't want something that you see absolutely everywhere. This car does also have the premium audio system. Again, that is exclusive to advanced style and above. The premium sound system doesn't have a name attached to it. It's a 9-speaker sound system. Even my dad said it was very good. He used to have a Sonos sound system in his Audi, which he loved. So it's got my dad's approval. Maybe not the best ever, but out of this sort of car, it is a decent sound, and I can put the bass up quite high. It has a subwoofer in the boot as well, which eats into a little bit of space. Let's move on to the boot space and practicality now. So just whilst we are at the back of the car, I want to talk about the tail light design, which has slightly changed. We used to have a completely clear tail light bar on the advanced style model. However, now it is red and clear, as we saw on the advanced previously. All models have got this now, which makes it much more simple, and I do really like this. Maybe they've been listening to my videos because I'm not always a huge fan of clear tail lights. I don't know, I did like the ones on the HR-V though, but I think this two-tone design works best, just looks really modern. A great feature on the HR-V Advanced and above is the electric tailgate, which is now hands-free, so let's give it a go. That was my first try. Perfect. What a great feature. It's hard to get that correct, and they've done it, so that's excellent. So the actual boot space on the HR-V is a little bit meh. In terms of litres anyway, this advanced style model, because it's got a subwoofer, has got 304 litres of space. That's down from 316 on ones without the subwoofer in. However, it looks a lot bigger than that litre suggests, and customers are generally happy with the space. And it's a very practical shape as well. There's virtually no lip down here. It's a very square shaped boot, which is great. I also love this parcel shelf up here as well, which you can easily unclip. A lot of manufacturers have started doing the same thing as well, like Ford, which have started that on the Puma as well. If you want to check out my review on the Ford Puma facelift, you can click up there and watch that video. Just in this side cubby here is your tyre inflation kit. So no spare wheel, but most small hybrids don't have a spare wheel. Under here you do have a little bit of space, and you get the bungee thingy on the advanced style. The magic seats are very clever. I'll show you how they go down. They go completely flat, which pretty much no other car does. The base essentially goes into the footwell, so you can see that goes down into there, and then completely flat low bay, which is incredible. Honestly, I said it last time, but I'll say it again. You don't really need a hotel when you've got a HR-V. You could just put a camping mattress in here, and it's easily a double bed. Pretty cool. I'm going away on Monday night. I shouldn't have bothered booking a hotel. It offers a camping alternative as well. Maybe? What do you think? Would you spend the night in the back of a HR-V? Another thing that the Magic Seats do brilliantly is how they flip up in the cinema style. And don't mind the dinosaur there. So this cinema style seat gives you that space from floor to ceiling. So you can put tall items such as plants in there, even a bike sideways. You can of course get rubber mats from the back, and Honda do a great job with their accessories. Their mats are such high quality and fit the cars perfectly, with these tabs tucking into the side underneath so they don't rock about. However, they're not cheap, the mats, but they are rather lovely, a nice touch. But this Magic Seats going up this way means you can literally walk through the car, as Honda did in an advert, and no other manufacturer offers this exact solution. So if you're wanting to sit in the back of the HR-V, what's it like? I've got quite a lot of leg room, quite a bit of headroom, even though you've got a slightly tapered roofline. Comfortable seats in general, it is good. You do have the central armrest, which I slated last time for how it hits the base like so, which it still does that. However, it's slightly different to before, and it does feel good quality materials, even if it does hit the base. However, it seems to be less angled like that now and a bit more flat. It would still be better though if it sat more like this, but it's not a major complaint. At least you've got it, and you've got two cup holders as well, which is rather nice. A lot of cars this size don't have a rear armrest. Two sets of ISOFIX points, although it doesn't have a set of ISOFIX points on the front seat, which other manufacturers do have. You've got two USB-C type ports in the back as well, which is great, and a little central cubby hole / cup holder as well. other cup holders in the doors as well. So you've got a cup holder here and on the other side, and then just your handle for your door. You don't have door pockets, but I think the space you've got is perfectly fine. And then this at the back of the seat is great. The only thing that lets it down really in the back is the armrest and also the middle seat itself. Normally it's the backs of the seats that let it down, but on this it's the base. It's really narrow, it's very firm, being leather. It is ever so slightly more comfortable on an Elegance, which is fully cloth, but if you're carrying 3 adults regularly, the HR-V is probably not going to be the car for you. However, when have I ever done that? Maybe once or twice in my car, so probably it wouldn't be a problem for most, but just something to be aware of, that this middle seat, the floor's quite flat, the floor's not a problem, but this little perch is a problem. As I mentioned, you can get the fixed glass roof, which have the roof panels in the back, same as the EMY one, and that comes with a dark headlining. That's the Advanced Style Plus. It would be nice if they didn't open in sunroof, but they don't do it. Your middle seat belt comes down from the ceiling for extra safety, so you have that length of the seat belt rather than being, you know, on the back of the seat, and it means they all fold nicely and everything's out the way. So lots of leg room, quite a bit of headroom, decent for 2 adults in the back of the HR-V. So then, what did I think of my time with the HR-V Advanced Style facelift? Well, I really enjoyed it. I think I will miss this car. The looks alone are really cool, and A and B road driving as well as town driving, that's what it's made for. You don't really benefit from the hybrid powertrain at higher speeds above 60 miles an hour. You don't really see a great fuel economy that you'd expect from a hybrid. But under that, you do have a great driving experience and a smooth feel from the ECVT transmission because you're not changing through gears. I enjoyed my previous time with the pre-facelift HR-V for a couple of days, but a whole week has been really good to get to know the vehicle. If you do a lot of that sort of driving, A and B roads up to 50 miles an hour or start-stop traffic, I think you'll really enjoy the HR-V. If you're doing motorway drives all the time, it's probably not the car for you, but for the odd motorway stretch, it can do. Thanks again to Honda UK for making this video possible. I've thoroughly enjoyed driving the HR-V for a full week, and being able to give it a well-rounded review and actually live with the car for a longer period of time has been excellent. And also thank you to Kendal Honda for continuing to support the channel. Some clips in the video from Kendal Honda, and also I got to drive them back to back, the pre-facelift and the facelift, to really give it a clear comparison. Back to back, you could tell the difference with the slight sound insulation changes on the facelift from the pre-facelift, so it's definitely a welcome change on the car. So I would recommend it. It's not the cheapest, but it kind of gives you that bespoke feel with different materials and things like that inside that you don't normally see from other brands. A bit wacky, a bit out there, turns heads, and is just something a little bit different. So if you want something that stands out from the crowd, that there's not a whole lot out there compared to the T-Roc, for example, the HR-V is definitely one to consider. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you in my next one.